we want to unpack simple products, and one of the first things that, as we started talking about what does it mean to build a simple product, I think we really try to get at like why would we build a simple product?
Right.
And I think the first video I really wanted to unpack with you is why, or what is maybe how we think about people's routines, and then really how do we think about habits? And I think that people have really ingrained habits.
Totally. Right.
I guess the question is, what is a habit?
So to me, when I think of the word habit, I think of my morning routine and how every day I start out kind of doing the same set of activities, but I don't think about those at all, right? And I read this book, The Power of Habit, by Charles Duhigg. It was super interesting to think about because he claims in the beginning we had to create these habits so our brains would save space, so we can become more automated and save that time for like creative thinking. So what are habits? Like, I know when I was reading this book and became really interested in it, they talk about this habit loop and how it's comprised of a cue, which is kind of that notification, if you will. Yeah. And the routine that elicits is me checking my phone because someone just likes my Instagram post, or I just got an email. And the reward is, I don't know, instant satisfaction, or fill in the blank. It's personal to that person. But
cue, routine, reward. That's the loop. It just happens over and over again. I think the first cue that anybody experiences in the day is their alarm.
Right.
And that cue of like, my routine used to be cue, alarm sound, routine, snooze.
Yeah.
Reward, I'm still sleeping. Like that
right.
routine became very much a major habit. And I had to use an actually completely different alarm app to break that habit.
And to change it.
To completely change it.
Right. I think about too sometimes about not wanting the choice with my habit, but I'm curious about what your thoughts are on giving people choices when we think about products and creating those habits there.
When you think about building something new, something that's never existed before, you have to now not only enter somebody's routine, and again, we already talked about the fact that their entire life is scripted already, but we have to enter that routine in a very achievable, simple way. But how do we think about creating a very linear path? So back to your I don't want too many decisions. So I don't want to give them all of the features all at once, because now they have to learn and figure out all the features. Instead, we can think about how to give them a very linear path to walk down that is very clearly that cue, just do the thing and then we'll reward you somehow at the end. But if I have 6 different directions I can go,
I become paralyzed and X out of the app. Yeah. I'll find an easier way to do it.
Yeah,
maybe.
you give up instantly. Yeah. But when you start thinking about consumer apps, or even certain features being added to a more complex app that you have, they've got to be simple enough to just take me down the path, reward me, so I want to do it over and over again.
And something I know we'll talk about later is sometimes simplicity is just hiding complexity. So it might look simple, but when you think about it and you break it apart, there's a lot going on. Yeah. Right? But if you can focus a product and its features into a simple looking experience, the complexity kind of fades away.
Think of Snapchat.
Yeah.
Right?
So simple.
It's stupidly simple. It's just one screen that is the camera. That's the primary view. Uh-huh. They've added a few things over time, which again we'll talk about that in our third video. This idea of adding complexity while still keeping it simple. But it's so simple to capture the video and then be able to kind of go through that. But if you look under the hood, the facial recognition stuff, that's insanely complex.
Copy and pasting all these graphics and just putting them on individual parts of a video, it's very complicated.
Yeah. But in order to enter the experience, I don't have to do those things.
Right.
The simple first experience is a photo or a video and posting it to my feed. Same thing with Instagram. Yeah. Instagram's the exact same experience. That's what was so brilliantly habit forming about Instagram, is that I just had to pop it up, had to take a photo. I wanted to have that reward of feeling like there maybe was that life that I wanted to share.
Sure, yeah.
So there was a sense of like accomplishment, a sense of like pride that came through of what I was sharing. And then of course, the best habit loop is the fact that when a routine almost never ends, and like there's that refresh of more. The reward is, I'll give you more if you keep doing this. I'll give you more if you keep doing this.
Right. When you start building, how do you think through the idea that people have habits and you're going to be kind of interjecting yourself into that scenario? So how can you kind of remove the distractions and the choices being made so that people want to use your product?
How do you start thinking about building a product that you know you want all the features? You know you see the value in that big shiny thing that's going to do everything for all the people. But we have to remember that while that vision in your mind is this like amazing experience, first off, that the rest of the world has not experienced what's in your head, and they need to be introduced to it in a very simple way, in a very focused way.
Right.
And then we'll unpack now we have some customers on board, how do we start to make the product that is more complex while still onboarding new customers in a simple way?
Yeah.
I think this is good.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Great combo.